Hi, I'm Lieutenant Shawn Kelley with the Ohio State Highway Patrol, and welcome back to another episode of Keeping You Safe. With me today will be Miss Wendi Waugh from Connex and Trooper Jessica McIntyre with OSP Recruitment. Please stay tuned. Hi, welcome back. With me today is Miss Wendi Waugh from Connex. She's a community activist, and we'll just go right into interviewing her and seeing what's going on in her world. So Wendi, if you don't mind, just tell me a little bit about yourself and let the viewing audience know what you're up to.
Well, gosh, that could be a long story, but I think what's applicable here to Connex and what I do in the community is I really hope, and Connex hopes to inspire this community to play and to get social connections in the outside. So we work on things like biking, hiking, moving, enjoying some of the natural resources that we have here in Scioto County.
So tell me exactly what Connex does and how people could get more involved with it.
Yes, absolutely. So Connex really is a nonprofit organization that was developed out of a smaller group called Shawnee Recreational Trails. And about 5 years ago or so, we branched into Connex with the primary mission of developing infrastructure for recreational cycling and moving, really all about tourism and creating some impetus to get people to come to Portsmouth and enjoy Portsmouth in the outside. So we started with adding bike racks in the city. We've had some billboards up that say 3 feet it's the law to remind motorists that there's cyclists on the roads and how to drive safely, share the road with cyclists. And then we moved into more like hiking, and we lead regular rides. We have walks. We just do a variety of things that are really to promote family, friends, relationships, and social connections in an active way that's healthy for the body and healthy for the mind, stress relief, all those kinds of things. So much. I don't know how to say it in a few words, but good stuff.
Well, I sure hope everybody else is excited about it as what you are. It's good. And it plays right along with our attempts at life preservation on the law enforcement side and making the community positive and having really good things. I just got a couple more questions for you.
Okay.
I've heard a lot about an active transportation plan for Scioto County. One, when is it going to be revealed, and tell us what that means?
So again, I'm so excited because Scioto County has been selected to receive an active transportation plan. So there's been a group that has been actively getting a lot of community participation, and they've been studying the way we move here in Scioto County, both on cars and other transportation. So we will get a plan to develop further infrastructure for moving in ways that are not by a motor vehicle. So that can be walking, scooter, biking, and more. So we'll get a plan. And then once we get that plan, then that plan will become executable. So safe routes to school, state and federal monies, dollars for making potentially a rail to trails, recreational dedicated bike path. So that will come and is going to be given to the public and announced to the public at the Connex annual meeting on January 22nd, 5:30 p.m. at the SOMC Friends Center. So that's a public meeting, and I'm inviting the community to come out and learn more about the active transportation plan on that day.
Very well. And obviously that's going to impact our community in a positive way.
Yes, it is. And we're doing just so many things. I wanted to mention the safety town that Connex has, and want to work with kids to help them learn to ride their bikes safely. And
well, that all sounds great, and I plan on having you back for Safety Town. And I just want to thank you for being here today, and hope your message is out a little bit to help Connex out.
Thank you for the opportunity. This is awesome.
I'm Lieutenant Shawn Kelley with the Ohio State Highway Patrol and the Portsmouth Post Commander. Today it is my privilege to have with me Trooper Jessica McIntyre with OSP Recruitment. Before we get into asking her questions about recruitment, I want to remind the viewing audience of the 4 dimensions of life preservation. As I said in the past, life preservation is something that's a cop's job, and that's what we do. With every dimension, we need your help. We'll start with seat belts. It's not enough anymore for just you to wear them. You have to make those around you wear them. Distracted driving. So many times do I see people on their cell phones as they pass me when I'm off duty. Nothing's that important. Put the phones down, please. Drunk driving. That's the 3rd dimension. Last year, although it set records in the Portsmouth area, 5 out of 6 of our fatalities involved drug drivers. We have mechanisms in place to try to prevent some of the drug use with great places like the Counseling Center and all of the people doing positive things in Portsmouth. Again, need your help. You see something, you say something. And the last thing is crime prevention. Doing something a little different in 2019 has produced great results in crime prevention. We've involved stakeholders and community people of every social status. We've had users, we've had business owners, we've had judges, we've had everybody offer opinions that have helped us up our game. Again, it's going to take you. So, to recap in the 4 dimensions of our life preservation efforts, wear your seatbelts, keep tabs on distracted driving, drug driving, drunk driving, and crime prevention. So with that, I'm going to talk a little bit to one of our recruiters for the Ohio State Highway Patrol. And Jessica, I'll just ask you to briefly give a quick summary of where you've been and what you're doing.
Well, currently, I'm a recruiter, of course, with Ohio State Highway Patrol. And I've been employed with Ohio State Highway Patrol now for about 20 years. And I'm married, I have 2 children. And while I've been in this position as a state trooper, I've been able to go into different positions. I've been an investigator, of course, a recruiter right now. I've also been able to sing the national anthem at 7 different venues. So it's been awesome. I've been able to use other talents as well as being in this position.
It's always, I always love it when you come to town. I do.
Well, thank you.
You know, I go way back, and,
yes.
and I think the world of you.
Well, I appreciate it.
So
Same here.
The goal is to put some things on media that will show people or give people a reason to want to be a state trooper. So I've got 3 questions that we've composed, and I'd just like for you to answer them to the best of your ability, so people will know what you're thinking. What are the current requirements to becoming a state trooper?
Well, we have just simple requirements, and the requirements are you need to be 20 to 34 years of age, have a high school diploma, be, of course, a United States citizen, and have a valid license. And that's basically it.
Very well. What challenges are you facing as being a recruiter with the patrol?
The greatest challenge that we are seeing right now is that a lot of people, or young people, have tattoos. So therefore, with our tattoo policy, they cannot have anything that is visible. And that means on your forearms. It can't go below your bicep. So we are still going around as far as when that will be taking place, as far as if there is going to be a tattoo policy in place still or not, but we're losing out on a lot of candidates in that respect.
So what advice would you give someone that's in high school right now, that's your juniors and seniors looking to be troopers, knowing they can't be one until they're 21? What's some advice that you would give them?
Right. I would tell them if they are looking to go to school, into college after they graduate, that would be awesome. It's always better to have more education as you're coming into the doors of the Ohio State Highway Patrol as a cadet. It helps you to advance perhaps quicker, and just having that knowledge base. So it doesn't always have to be in criminal justice. It can be in any area of study that they choose. Also in that time, also to keep up your health, staying in shape, because definitely once you come through our doors, you will have to you will be doing a lot of running and a lot of cardio, and you do need to be in shape for that. So those are the things I would tell them, to encourage them to get their education, of course, and to stay healthy.
And lastly, what are some things that you like about the patrol?
Well, what I like about the patrol is, of course, the people that I work with. We've always had that, where we've been like a patrol family. Some places are different, but the posts and the places that I've been at, I've been able to enjoy my coworkers, and I appreciate that because it helps the day go by a little bit quicker.
Yeah, I would agree with that wholeheartedly. We have some really good people and really good places that we work around, and something that I would encourage the youth to do is, as they take heed to the dimensions of life preservation, that I said, if that's something that interests you, just keep your nose clean and maybe get to know a trooper.
Yes.
See how they live. They're always worried about what do you make, how much money. Get to know one of them. You'll see how they live on what they make. It's a good living. It's a noble living. I would certainly like for you to know that I appreciate you being here today and taking the time to sit down and put the word out about recruitment. Hopefully we can get a couple people's ears and then lure some good ones to us.
Yes, I hope so too, and thanks for having me today.
Yes, ma'am. I'm Lieutenant Shawn Kelley with the Highway Patrol, and back with me is Miss Wendi Waugh from Connex and Trooper McIntyre from OSP Recruitment. We're just going to have a short round table here in closing, and start with you, Wendi, and Connex. Would you be able to tell me a little bit about 2019's greatest accomplishment as it pertains to Connex?
Thank you for asking, Lieutenant Kelley. So I'm super proud of what Connex did in 2019 in Mound Park, which is the largest green space that we have in the city of Portsmouth, and we were able to pave an activity path that the community can use to walk and to bike, ride scooters, skating. Seeing the kids over there and utilizing the activity path has really been super rewarding. And we also were able to collaborate with Portsmouth High School Art in the Community, and they made a safety town for us. So super cool. Lots of building facades, and then we had cones, and we created fictional railroad tracks. All of this to teach the children not only how to ride, but how to ride safely. So we teach them the hand signals and just what to do at a railroad track, what to do at a stop sign, how to look both ways, and the kids just absolutely loved it. So we plan on repeating that in 2020 in Mound Park. May is Bike Safety Month throughout the U.S. So we will be constructing this safety town again, and I wanted to challenge Trooper McIntyre here to come down and help us. I think that'd be a great recruitment tool for young children to just see that, what the role of the troopers are in the community and how you are so concerned about their safety and that sort of thing. What do you think about that?
I will come.
You will come.
I will come.
Yes, you hear that?
You just tell me the date and the time, and I will be there.
All right. Fantastic. So we're looking forward to doing that in May. We're really looking forward to having this active transportation plan and seeing what Scioto County can do in terms of safe routes to school and additional infrastructure and awareness for biking on the road. And moving, we'll be starting all of our hikes and bike rides early spring. And so if people are interested in getting involved in things like that, we do have a Facebook group on Facebook. It's called Portsmouth Connex Group. You need to request to join that. everything that Connex does is free and open for the public, so we don't have barriers that are monetarily influenced. You just got to get yourself to the start of the bike or the hike. We're also going to have some bikes that people can borrow, so even having a bike isn't a barrier to getting involved in what we're doing.
Have we talked about the Mound Park project yet?
Well, we talked a little bit about the activity path, but the Mound Park project was actually called RUMP, Revitalize Our Mound Park. Mound Park, I mentioned, was the largest green space in the city of Portsmouth, but it's also strategically, it's in an area of the community that really could use some revitalization. So recently, the pickleball club has redone the tennis courts and the pickleball courts. The city has done a lot to clean up some of the fencing and things there. I know the counseling center has had some pickup games of different dodgeball and different things on the ball thing there. But Mound Park is actually the second largest remaining earthworks here in the state of Ohio in terms of those mounds. So there's a lot of history there too that I think the community is going to be hearing about in the near future as well. So, but we put the activity path there, and it's really bringing in a lot of people, and that was a great accomplishment of 2019.
I'm going to kind of put you on the spot, Jessica. You're a trooper.
Yes, I am.
You're just like me. You're a trooper.
Yes.
You're a Cincinnati girl, and you've also worked in Portsmouth.
Correct.
So you know what Portsmouth entails, and you know the things that we try to solve, where drug prevention and seat belts, distracted driving. You know all of our main focal life preservation points. Being from Cincinnati and essentially an outsider looking in, how do you see the positivity coming from this and colliding with those life preservation efforts?
I think it's a wonderful thing, and it's about partnership. So being a recruiter, it gives me the ability to be creative, but also building partnerships with people that we haven't in the past. And therefore, when you're building those partnerships, you're bringing in communication and understanding. Sometimes with law enforcement, there's a negative outlook as far as law enforcement is concerned. So when you build those partnerships, it's building that building communication with those partners and getting out into the community and letting our message be known that we, even though we are officers, we're also human beings as well. And then, of course, in the recruitment tactic or tool is wanting them when they get older to thinking about becoming a state trooper in the future.
Awesome. Well said. As you know, community policing is a big thing with the Highway Patrol right now, and trying to involve as many stakeholders as we can get. One addition that I've made to that's going to play right into your hands is taking high school juniors and seniors from our 12 school districts in Scioto County and inviting them to the post. I've assigned a sergeant to take care of the task, and it's just to sit down and talk to them. It's not about anything.
Right.
It's just to sit down and get to know them.
Yes.
And what better stakeholder do we have than those that are entering the workforce in 2 or 3 years?
Correct.
So I think that maybe those are some meetings that you can come down and set in on and
Yes.
Have some input.
Most definitely. And then hopefully from that, maybe you can go out to the other post and it'll be implemented. Yeah, that's what, this is hopefully entailing, because being in the community, we want that. So if every post can indoctrinate that or implement that at each post, that's a positive thing.
Oh, I think so too. Absolutely. And back to you, Wendi, how would you compare 2019's Safety Town to what you want to see in 20?
Well, what we want to see in 20 is growth. So we were able to do this one time in 2019. I hope that we, with the fleet of bikes that we hope to have, with the infrastructure that we have already created, with the partnerships like what we're talking about here today, I hope we can take these safety towns to these schools. I hope that people begin to reach out to us and see us as a resource and a positive resource for giving, helping you, the troopers and law enforcement, to keep people safe out there on the roads, keep the sidewalks lit, and let's get around and move. And it's going to take all of us.
Yes.
But the neat thing about it is, thank you very much, Lieutenant Kelley, for this, like for getting us together to even talk about those kinds of collaborations.
Yes.
You know, we can spin all we want like a hamster on a wheel by ourselves, but what we're going to do when we get together is get this done.
Oh, I believe so. And with that thought, you know, it's never been about making Portsmouth great. Portsmouth's already great. It's just letting people know that it's great and installing that hometown pride in our youth. When someone was to ask, if someone was to ask you, does Portsmouth have a bad reputation? How would you answer that?
I would say absolutely not. I'm looking and seeing like all of the great things that there are to do. I'm looking at all the positive stories, and my glass is always full. Not half full, not half. It's full. Oh, yeah. It's overrunning with positivity here. You got to find it though.
You do. You have to, and that's the purpose behind this show is to not only educate people on our traffic safety and reduce crashes and crime prevention and talk about seatbelts, distracted driving, but it's also let the public know that maybe was uninformed like I was at one time, lived here all my life and didn't realize just the great things that are happening in Portsmouth, that it's just a great place to live. It truly is.
Yeah. And when you start to look at things from that perspective, a whole new world just opens up. Really, it does. So it's really cool to see the collaboration and the things that the Post is doing. Like you mentioned, going out to the high schools and talking to juniors and seniors. You don't have to do that, right?
Well, we should. You should. If you want to involve, if you want to be effective, you know, we, Jessica and I both live in a world of data.
Right.
You know, we're data-driven people.
But somebody's got to be the creator, the best practice. I'm going to do something new.
Oh, I agree. Yes. And part of what I learned last year, and surprisingly, I never really got stepped on, was being results-driven. You know, data is important, but and coincidentally, what I learned is that if you're data-driven, results don't always come. But if you're results-driven, the data is there automatically. Because in our line of work to enforce the law and to change driving behavior, it's going to take us stopping people, talking to them, educating them, maybe issuing a citation. And nobody wants a citation. Right. You know, it's not us wanting to be mean. It's about us trying to preserve your own life and your children's lives when it comes to drugs and seatbelts, distracted driving, and crime. So I would hope that nobody considers it about money or anybody being mean to you. It's about preserving your life, because your life is important to me and the troopers and the highway patrol.
Well, I want to just tag on to that and say what you said there is education. So that happens in the schools. It happens with entities such as Connex. It happens with our children at Safety Town, right? So there are lots of different levels of education and a lot of different ways. And the way that we know by data that we learn best is by giving ourselves opportunities, both experiential and didactic, that, you know, and so this information is coming at you from more than one source.
Yes. Yeah. Well, we talked earlier a little bit about partnerships, and what Jessica and I have learned is that, you know, our normal partners, such as maybe the Ohio Department of Transportation, Southern Ohio Medical Center, the other police agencies, Portsmouth Police and the Scioto County Sheriff's Department, all great partners to have, you know, very close to all of them. But, you know, trying to up the ante with the health department, the judges, business owners, the juniors and seniors in school that are entering the workforce, all of your local John Lawrence that we've talked about, local filmmakers. It's really good stuff happening, and I'm so excited to get to know Tim Wolf and his friends at Portsmouth a lot better. We actually had a little bit of involvement with his Paw Patrol. Oh, yes. Yeah, we took Teddy Trooper down, and it was a good time, and we're going to go back next year, and hopefully it'll be just like like his Winterfest, I see it growing so much every single year. I think that Paw Patrol will be a big hit next year with kids.
Yeah, actually, you guys were also involved in the Touch-A-Truck that was at the Spartan Stadium, and we had several different emergency vehicles and things down there that kids could come and play and blow the horn and see the lights go around. So all of that, has a play in this.
Well, very well. Well, I want to personally thank each one of you for being here and being patient with me today, and look forward to having you both back again soon.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.